Some startups go up, others go down. Welcome to GeekWire's Elevator Pitch, where 3 entrepreneurs pitch their businesses in the 48 seconds it takes to get to the top of Seattle's first skyscraper, the Smith Tower. Over the course of 9 episodes, we'll narrow the field from 27 entrepreneurs to 1 winner. In this episode of Elevator Pitch, presented by Smartsheet, we'll hear from 3 startup founders as they pitch their emerging businesses to our panel of leading investors and entrepreneurs. T.A. McCann, a serial software entrepreneur, professional sailor, and managing director at Pioneer Square Labs. He sold his last company to Google and counts Rival IQ and more than a half dozen other startups to his name. Stephen Brandstetter, an angel investor and vice president at Smartsheet. He caught the entrepreneurial bug in college and sold his first startup to Active Network. Heather Redman, power broker and former Getty Images executive, who cuts deals as the managing director of venture capital firm Flying Fish Partners. Richard Tate, the motorcycle-riding Scotsman and mastermind behind the hit board game Cranium, who now stirs up new ideas inside Starbucks. The clock is ticking. Jump on board and ride with us on the elevator pitch and find out which entrepreneur has what it takes to make it to the top.
I'm Jeff Ludwyck with Hyperspace XR.
Welcome to Smith Tower.
Hyperspace is building massive walkthrough VR experiences and the platform to power them. Experiences currently range from 2,000 to 4,000 square feet, where guests feel heat, cold, wind, smell, and touch, all while taking part in a story. We're establishing the first ecosystem around this brand new form of out-of-home entertainment based around modular environments and effects. Developers have a seamless method for creating these very complex attractions, and with a revenue share model, enjoy profitability in VR. Venues have an interchangeable exhibit, which promotes higher repeat business and can be installed at lower cost and higher sales per square foot than existing installations. We're a pilot partner with Microsoft and HP, and our first installation, Wonderfall, is installed at Pacific Science Center this month.
Is your business the location, the facility?
So it's the platform layer that operates high throughput, aligning virtual environments to physical worlds, and then we have a number of extended reality effects that developers can drag and drop into a Unity file, an Unreal file, basically export that file and be able to play it in a large environment.
But who owns the hardware?
The venue owns the hardware.
What does it cost to sort of set up one of these venues?
It's about $150,000 for high throughput, so the highest throughput we can do just for the backpacks, the headsets, all of the gear, and then another $50,000 to $75,000 for the environment itself, which would change out every experience that comes along the way.
How many have you sold?
We have 1 installation at the Pacific Science Center that's opening this month. That's our first installation. We have about 10 others that we're currently talking with, and then about another 10 developers about additional experiences along the way.
As a customer, why would I come? Describe the experience to me.
Deep immersion. Basically, you step into the story in the game for the first time. You actually feel like you're there. You're able to transport to another world in the center of Seattle. So basically, you go through with groups of 4, you experience everything that you see inside the virtual world is fully virtual, but then you can reach out and touch the physical environment. So for example, we're doing a village setting where you help this young girl who's in creating this invention, and so you're able to interact in the real world with physical objects that affect the scene that you're feeling, and then you feel wind and rumble effects and whirlwinds and that kind of thing to add to that immersion level.
What type of price point is it for the consumer?
Currently, we're at $30 for a 30-minute experience, $1 per minute. Our competition's about 2.5 times that. We kind of feel like it's a novelty price.
And that's 30 minutes for 4 people, or $30 each?
$30 per person, and so $1 per minute seems about where we feel like we'll fall.
And what's your core competitive advantage? I'm still kind of struggling with.
A couple of things. So one, we allow high throughput and long experiences. So we use inside-out tracking technology. We have no technology in the space that's tracking you. Everything's on the player, looking at the environment and referencing the environment. So that allows us to have a lot of people in the environment and long experiences. Our competition uses basically motion capture technology, so a grid of cameras over the environment. They're very expensive, hard to calibrate, and you have a limit to how many people can be in the experience, and so we're the opposite of that.
And is your business model primarily selling the environment, that $150K, or is it more on the rev share side?
The rev share side. So basically working with venues and developers at a 40-30-30 rev share model, so 40% for the venue, 30% for the developer, and then 30% for the platform.
Where does this go from here? What's the next element of your technology that you want to build out?
We really want to work with science centers and build that out as sort of a niche, just to kind of get that base grounding for what we can do. And then if the platform goes the direction we're hoping, developers should be able to jump in, develop an experience, and then deploy at any venue. So a venue can come on and say, look, I have 3,000 square feet. Here are the parts I currently have. What's available for me? And then, you know, any kind of IP that you know, they could download and be able to run that experience in their location.
Science centers because of the audience that they're drawing?
They're very established venues. We're really focusing on those with IMAX already there. They understand entertainment, they understand that earned revenue model, and they have an already established throughput that's going through 750,000 to 1 million people a year. And so playing off that, as opposed to competition who are building their own centers that have to draw that traffic, we're really focused on places where guests are already going to spend that entertainment dollar, and to be able to kind of give them an immersive experience that they've never ever experienced.
And how much does it cost, or how long does it take you to create a new experience on top of the same hardware platform?
It takes about 4 months with a team of 10 potentially. So the difference between our building a game for us and building a traditional game takes $2 to $3 million over 2 years with a 100-person team. We're about 3 to 4 months, 10 people, and anywhere from 3 to 400,000 for a group, which then they can recoup in about 3 to 4 months.
I like the focus on the science centers. That seems like a strong approach versus what he described the competitors to be doing.
Yeah, I'm a huge skeptic on VR. I was hoping to hear him talk about the places where you do like the faux golf, because I think that might be sort of an analogy that he should use, but I'm skeptical about people's willingness to pay for this kind of experience.
But you think about like IMAX and some of these 4D theaters which are coming online, and consumers' desire to pay more for a more enhanced experience. And I don't know how big that business is, but it seems like following along with the IMAX and the Science Center deployment would seem logical, at least for a starting point for this business.
So I went to see one of those 4D movies the other day with my son, and there was only 4 people in the movie theater. And so, and it was $16 for each of us. And so when I went to pay for it, and it was $32 just for the experience, I can't imagine for a family of 4 going to this at $30 a pop. It's $120 for that experience. So then when he describes moment to wow, I'm thinking, okay, moment to wow for $120 for a family of 4. Like, how much wow does there have to be before I feel like I'm getting the value out of that entertainment experience? And so I think the pricing will be prohibitive for a mass audience. But I do agree. I think the focus on the Science Center and the audience that's already going there for a rich entertainment experience. But I think you're right. Virtual golf actually allows me to improve a skill.
Right.
So there's something that I'm actually feeling a sense of personal enrichment with. I don't know if just a general experience is going to pull enough people in.
I wonder about that approach then. So if it's $120 is too much for a family, but I think about $30 as a young single person with a job, that doesn't seem too extreme. So potentially there's a different approach there where focusing instead on the family experience, on the individual experience.